her movie, nothing, if you didn't grow up watching TV Land, like, you really don't know what this guy is.
TV Land is another generation entirely,
yeah. TV Land, Nick at Night, and if you didn't grow up, like, going...
Now it's Me TV.
Now it's Me TV, yeah. Now the shows that were new, like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is on TV Land, which makes me kind of weird. I
was an MTV kid, so everything I watched.
Okay.
If it wasn't on MTV, I probably didn't know about it.
Yeah, all right.
Bobby's giving you the thumbs up.
Yeah. Bobby, keep your thumbs down, all right? MTV kid. What's wrong with you, all right?
Go Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, okay. All right, I like Hanna-Barbera. All right, yeah. All right, so moving on.
I actually bet someone who told me that they didn't like Scooby-Doo, and I'm like, I can't be friends with you now.
I mean, I like Scooby-Doo. I mean, it's like,
we have nothing in common if you don't like Scooby-Doo.
It's like, yeah, I don't know how you can't like...
I even like the movie. As bad as this.
I'm not gonna lie. Huh?
I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, they made that.
If you like the ridiculousness of the TV show, they made a live action version of the TV show. It's like the George the Jungle.
Oh, that's
right. Yeah. It's like, I mean, if you like George the Jungle,
it had Mr. Bean in it, and it's just.
That's true. Everyone Atkins in it.
Yeah, I watched it just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But he actually talks in this. So. What a career! We could do a whole episode about Rowan Atkinson, though.
Probably.
Yeah, I was watching him on the Graham Norton show. I guess he had gotten into an argument with the guy at an automobile parts store because the guy said, "If you look just like Mr. Bean," he's like, "Well, I am." And the guy's like, "No." And he actually said, "I actually got into an argument with this guy saying I'm like Mr. Bean."
No, you're not. No, you're not.
He said, ended with him giving him advice on how he could make money off of his resemblance by going to parties and pretending he was.
Well, wasn't it Charlie Chaplin who came?
I got this card.
Was it Charlie Chaplin came third in Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest? It's like, goodness gracious.
That's amazing.
So, I'm just going to make a quick comment to our cameraman. I'm looking at the screen. There's a little bit too much headroom on Arnie. So if you could bring the camera down, she's making her look really short in the.
Yeah, I'm short. So.
Yeah.
Buddy
short.
slouch.
So
Yeah.
so she's not that short. All right, I slouched, but I'm like, I'm gonna just sit back and relax and
Okay, so I got two quick pieces of information. One, the new Picard Star Trek series is going to be out at the end of 2019.
Okay.
Picard. And they're rebooting Fantasy Island as a horror show.
As it probably should have been.
Okay. Yeah.
So which I mentioned this to my sister, and she's like, "What, is Tattoo going to be running around the island scaring people?"
He did in the original show. Like, I don't know, he scared me,
We're going to the chainsaw.
Well, victims, boss.
Boss, they come in,
Seriously, so that makes sense though. I mean, it's very Hitchcockian in a way that they kind of the stories are unfolding in the original show. So I mean,
well, that's the question though, because in the show, people were volunteering for stuff. Are they going to be volunteering? I mean, for horrific situations? Because in the show, the original show, they were trying to. If you guys don't know the premise of the original show, it was an island where these people would go and have any fantasy fulfilled. And usually it was a fantasy of something that they actually wanted to go fall in love with someone or go on an adventure or go on something like that. But if it's a horror show, and they go to say, I want to be tied up to a tree and be hacked to death. Like, I don't mean, if it's a horror show, what are they going to be going to the island for?
Yeah. I think it's just going to have fantasies gone bad, essentially.
Which was the original show, but it was
I've had a few vacations that were like that. Oh my God, what have I done?
There's no little chocolates on
the worst hotel ever in New Jersey.
Okay, all right, No, the worst hotel I ever stayed in was actually probably New Jersey, come to think of it. It was the time, if you're ever going to go on a road trip and you're going to go with someone who's willing to invest the money that you're willing to invest, because when it's his turn to pay for the hotel, it was the worst night's sleep of my life.
I actually stayed in a hotel where you could either watch TV or run the heat. But you couldn't do both, because if you ran the heat, you couldn't hear the TV. And only 3 of the channels worked. They had 30. Only 3 of them worked.
I had a TV in my old apartment. I don't know if you remember. It used to be in my office actually. That after about 40 minutes of it being turned on, actually when I used to live in Manchester, when I got it, it'd make this sound, and so I would go and I would just hit the top of it, and it would go away. And after about 40 minutes, if you listen to it, it would go, and you just go and you just, I mean, you had to like really slam this thing on the top. And I still have the TV. It's actually in the storage unit right now. That I really like the TV. It was $9.99. I had a DVD player and a VHS player in it too. And I mainly kept it there because when my brothers came to visit, it really pissed them off that I had a really old TV. You know, it's like, yeah. Well, can you watch the original version of Star Wars on VHS on your TV?
Have you been doing that, or if it has been sitting for a while, because you're gonna ruin your tape.
Yeah, you're missing the point of the joke. All right, seriously, even Bobby got that joke. Yeah, good point. Bobby, you got the joke, right?
No.
Oh, fine. All right. Any other news worth?
We're showing our age. We all know what VHS is and
I don't think,
like,
Bobby, you know what VHS is, right?
No.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. All right.
Be kind, please rewind.
Moving on. Be kind, please rewind. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Moving on. What do we got?
Well, Timothy Zahn is writing a new Thrawn novel.
Yes.
Yes.
Actual books that Terry Turner has read.
Yeah.
For those
Star Wars trilogy.
Star Wars Extended Universe.
Mhm.
This is pretty much considered canon. I think this is canon.
Well, it wasn't until J.J. Abrams threw it out, but we
Yeah.
don't go down there.
Don't go down that rabbit hole of Terry and how much I hate J.J. Abrams. Okay, which has been was the premise of my old radio show. When I had an entertainment radio show, the whole premise was how much I hate J.J. Abrams. That was like pretty much all I talked about was how much I hate J.J. Abrams. So, sorry, I'm going down that rabbit hole right now.
Timothy Zahn is writing a new Thrawn novel.
Oh,
This is
yes.
the third one in
Yes.
the series. It takes place before the trilogy that he had written.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the trilogy. I just remember it was the next three.
Right, yeah. So this would be taking place during, Return of the Jedi.
Valentine's time, yeah.
Oh, okay. That'd be really cool for those of us really geeking out about this. That's actually I'm really interested
Yeah.
in it. Yeah, so
He's one of the best bad guys.
he was really cool.
In the
Yeah, that was the
Star Wars.
introduction for those of you who know the Extended Universe. That was Timothy Zahn introduced Mara Jade and a lot of these cool Extended Universe characters. You know, Star Wars Extended Universe for those of you who are really geeks and moving on. Okay.
Actually, so I love Star Wars, but I've never listened or watched or gone through any of the extended universe stuff or listened to the books. So
well, you know what's
this
sad?
is kind of a big deal.
This is a big deal
Yeah.
because you know what's sad is that to give you guys an example that I don't know how much of a Star Wars fan I am, and this is the reason why I got so mad about what happened with the Force Awakens and everything like that. I didn't realize how much of a Star Wars fan I am until the other day when I was actually listening to Star Wars Extended Universe books on this app as I was driving. And realizing, oh man, I'm so happy I can get so many more Star Wars books on this app. And I'm like, oh wow, I'm a real nerd. Like I didn't realize how much.
Well, the cool thing about the extended universe was not anybody could write for them. You had to be asked to write a Star Wars novel. And everything had to fit within the timeline. So your book couldn't conflict with something that had been written in another book or was in a movie. So everything fit, and it expanded like way beyond the prequels and way after the original three. So it was just it was one of the best set up universes, I thought. You know, of course the writing was, depending on who wrote it, whether or not the book was any good. Like The Courtship of Princess Leia was terrible.
Then The Last Jedi came along and ruined everything. Okay, all right. Mitch is going to step out, and our guest is going to step in. If you don't mind, Mitch, I will have you right back. Our guest is going to step in. He is, and Arnie's going to slide over. All right. So usually we do this in the middle of like a video, but since we can't play videos this week because we're still getting because we're still switching things around, I am going to ask our camera operator right now. I'm noticing the camera switches are a lot of zoom ins and zoom out. Oh, good. Do you have regular cuts back down too? Because I have a chance to ask these questions because there's video playing. I can say, hey guys, what the hell's going on back there? But I can't do that right now because.
You just did.
But I can't do it because there's no video to play. Now I got to just blatantly ask the question, which
You never say it like that.
I never say it. I'm
You're
a
nice. You're a nice guy.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah, I'm a nice guy. Yeah, I'm a gentle, kind soul, quiet. You know. Yeah, that's how you describe it. Yeah, I once got referred to as a mild-mannered. One guy saw my first film that I had done called Bullies, and he said, this is back when we both used to work at a place called the Walmart Distribution Center in Raymond, and he said, for such a mild-mannered kid, you're one violent little effing something or other. And I looked at him and I said, I'm mild-mannered? that was my first thought, because I was a little bit quieter, I think, back then, maybe?
You were always high energy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Were you that time they actually gave me a Red Bull?
I was not. No, I was only there for 9 months.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like
It
that,
actually, it actually became a thing of legends that they talked about 10 years later. It was still brought up the time Terry drank Red Bull because at the time I didn't drink coffee or anything like that, and so they decided that someone would give me a Red Bull. All right, now
Just to see what we had.
pretty much. And so I had one, and then I was like zipping around the place, and then I fell asleep, and then it was, pretty much what happened. And so I did that, and so they thought, oh, that was hilarious. And so then a couple of weeks had gone by, and there were these Red Bull promotional people that were at Walmart for some strange reason in the break room, and they were giving out free Red Bulls. And I was single at the time. They were kind of cute, so I went over. I'll grab a free Red Bull. I went and I downed one. And then a guy, Paul Michael Corbett, we used to call him PM, NyQuil.
Oh, sure.
We used to call. We had weird nicknames to everybody.
Yep.
NyQuil. I was Boots at one point because I wore big boots and shorts.
Right.
Yep. You were Hurricane because you would destroy everything that you worked in. It would just be a huge mess. It looked like a hurricane went off. There was Mitzi. There was all these different nicknames. And then Walmart made a rule you weren't allowed to have nicknames for people. But anyways. This guy, Paul Michael Corbett, came up to me and he said, I want you to drink the second Red Bull. And I said, I'm not drinking the second Red Bull. I will want you to drink the second Red Bull. I said, I'm not. He says, I'll pay you $5. I said, where's the money? And it was like something out of one of those Guy Ritchie movies with the really fast cuts. Sure. The money slammed down, the Red Bull hit here, it popped open. Next thing I know, I was running out of the break room, and my manager was pulling me aside, wondering whether he should send me home. Like, but it's been 12 years, and we've talked maybe once a year.
Yeah, if that, yeah.
Yeah, we say, hey, let's work together, and then
we never do.
We never do. Yes, so and so it's been a long time. How you been?
Really, really good. Yeah, it's been crazy that it's been that long since we met. And back then, both of us were still, we're both trying to be filmmakers.
Both trying to be filmmakers,
right? Yeah.
And now we're older and
still trying to be filmmakers.
So yeah, but it's nice to know that you can still survive after 12 years. Don't give up, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's still happening.
Yeah. Well, you made quite a few films at this point in time, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I like to think of it as in two separate eras.
Mm-hmm.
For the first 7 years of filmmaking is all the stuff that I'm really embarrassed about and don't want to show anybody anymore. Yeah.
We don't have anything like that.
Yeah, no, certainly not. It's a period where you're really bad, but you're learning stuff. You know, you're trying new things and whatever it may be. And then probably about 4 years ago is when I made the decision that I need to get better. So I started studying really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure that I knew everything technically about the camera that I possibly could. I started studying up on lighting and watching video essays and watching
YouTube has made all the difference in the
world.
world.
My God, it's amazing how you can learn so much just from tutorials or about the visual language that cinema is from watching all these things. And then also just pounding movies. I watch as many movies as I possibly can in the theater, at home, whatever it may be.
I'm so much more picky about my movies now because I don't have a lot
I know
of
I
time.
actually heard you last week talking about how you only go out for special occasions to go to the movie theater, and I lost my mind.
Well, it's hard for me because I don't have a lot of time between.
I don't either, but I try to see a movie in the theater at least once a week.
Right, yeah, and I what I love now is I got Amazon Prime.
Sure.
Oh, and I love Amazon Prime because you've got a lot of obscure films.
Yep.
So you get to see films that are either really old or ones that just wouldn't make the theater scene.
Sure.
And it's not because I've become crazy artsy fartsy I don't want to see, but a lot of times you can watch movies and I know what that movie is. Not that I dislike it, but I know what that is. And it was the last movie I went. One of the movies I tried to go see, but she got sick and we had to leave the movie theater. Was
You're never gonna let that
The Meg.
go.
I'm never gonna let that go.
You didn't miss so much.
It looked exactly like. Well, it looked like the corny. It looked like a corny summer monster flick. That's what I figured it was, and that's what it's more about her meeting my girlfriend finally.
Sure.
And I figured that was a harmless.
But you have sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes. Yeah. Whilst not throwing up. So.
When I've got a ginger ale, everything got better.
Stephen Lower gave us a plug. He said Michael Lawrence, one of our films, one she wrote and directed, it just got Amazon Prime, and it did. Yeah. So
right. I actually heard that. I'm going to watch it. I do have Amazon Prime.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Thank you. So now I'm very picky, and I watch a lot of series now because
a lot of series.
So I watch a lot of series now, just trying to see something. So it is interesting, but how much YouTube has given.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the more popular YouTube guys around. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's called the DSLR guy.
I think
He actually colored one of my movies because I got in touch with him because of all the help that he gave.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing how much you can learn just from that. You get a whole film school from.
I teach this to a lot of people. I said, look, don't ever change your equipment until you're smarter than it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm still. I mean, the past 2 of the past 3 movies I still shot on the Canon T3i Rebel.
I'm
and
still
my-
shooting on a DSLR 77.
Yeah, I
I've had
mean,
a lot of shot.
absolutely. No, you got to learn about lighting. You got to learn about movement.
Right.
You got to learn about all that stuff before you go out and buy a red. Because if you go out and buy a red, your films are still gonna look like they're shot on.
Well,
you know,
remember when Action Essentials came out, and that was a big thing?
Sure.
Action Essentials.
Yeah, I remember hearing about
it was for especially guys like me who were making action films. It was this graphics package. It was like the graphic package. It's still everything is still fairly relevant today.
Sure.
And what it was raw material with like explosions, muzzle flashes, and all these certain things that you know. And so I thought, okay, I'm lousy at special effects, so I will invest. It was like $900 or something like that to get this package. And so I will invest in this, and I will pay $900, and now I'll be good at special effects. And what I found out was I was still lousy at special effects, and now I was $900 broker. And so I tell people when they say that what type of camera I should get, just start with the one you have. And until that camera can't do the thing you need it to do, it's just not worth it.
Oh, especially in today's day and age. I mean, there are professional movies that are shot on iPhones, you know, and they're really good. Absolutely.
Right.
You just gotta learn everything you can about the camera that you have. Make sure that you learn how to light things properly.
Yep.
And then from there, just keep building on it until you have
It's
to.
lighting, it's color grading, and for most all things, unless you're making a Hollywood movie, unless you know you're going to get that, and unless you're going to go to what's that big convention down in Vegas, Dan, that you go to sell your movie?
American movies.
AMF,
Film Market.
right, yeah, American Movie Festival or something like that. Unless you know a potential market for this, there's sort of no point. When you gotta work those crafts.
I think you have to suck for 7 years. That's my new.
Yeah.
You have to be terrible for 7 years before you're allowed to make anything decent.
But plug your movies. So what are your movies about?
Oh, okay, sure. So
Yeah.
we have 3 movies that come out they're all coming out basically in this year window. Unfortunately, we don't move as quickly as you guys do. I heard you guys talking about how you do 12 pages of dialogue. We're more of a 2-page a day
It was
type of
30,
person.
actually.
Yeah,
last film.
blew my
Don't
mind.
recommend it, by the way.
No,
I wouldn't recommend it.
I try to convince my crew of doing 3 pages a day, and they're still like, no, we're still cutting half of our shot list as we go down. But my 3 movies that come out, we actually shot them all 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, and then the other one about 1.5 years ago, and they're all we've edited them all about the same time.
Well, Michael Lawrence, we just finished. I mean, Michael Lawrence, we shot it 2 years ago.
Okay,
Finally,
yeah,
it's out, right, yeah.
And especially, it takes so long, especially when you're working a full-time job.
Yeah.
And editing can be really time. My least favorite part by far is post-production. I'm okay with pre-production. I love shooting, and I hate post. Absolutely hate post.
See, I fall in love when you get the piece together and then it's a little tweaking and what you can make a scene do.
It feels like the tedium sometimes gets to me, and
that's why you gotta give yourself a deadline.
Well, of the 3 movies that we do have coming out, the first one that we just premiered back in October, which we were having our encore showing, which you guys are both invited to, on December 27th. That movie is called Scarlet K. It is kind of a dark comedy sort of horror movie. It's about this couple that's kind of in a rut, and the female is she's a struggling novelist, and they go down to.
I can relate.
And so she traveled. Her and her fiance, they traveled down to this beach community called Scarlet K, where they're just trying to get away for a week, and she's trying to get some writing done. And once they get there, they meet this very eccentric couple named Brock and Minerva, and it's kind of what happens over the course of this week. And it kind of starts off as a chatty relationship story, and it just descends into crazier and crazier things. We shot it with, the Canon T3i with a very, very limited budget. Most of it, about 95% of it, is shot in black and white. So that
Actually shot in black and white?
We shot in black and white, yeah.
Actually shot it, so it didn't do in post.
Shot everything in black and white, except for we do have a fun.
That's the purist. I would not dare do that.
Well, we shot it in black and white. First of all, you're going to get as close to the image as you possibly can when you're looking at it in the viewfinder, and then what ends up happening is it still comes in, unfortunately, a little bit flat, and then it's a lot of grading. And what's great about that is I don't have any skills color grading with actual color, but I did about 6 months of research in order to color grade black and white so that I'm playing around with contrast and playing around with shadows.
Some of them were black and white. Some people think it's just you just hit black and white, but like we did
No,
in the 1940s film.
It's not even,
Right.
no, it's so much, and so much of it has to do with contrast and what you're doing with shadow and what you're doing with light and all these
Oh
kind
yeah.
of things. So yeah, we spent 3 months on that process too. But I smartly didn't cut that movie. I actually had one of the leads in the movie, who also has directed his own film called On the Seventh Day, which you should all go see. It's very, very good. But he said, "Hey, can I take a crack at this while I was editing my next movie, Ice Patrol?" And so he kind of finished it up, and we get together and we talk about what we should change and whatnot. We had to kind of rearrange the story a little bit, just because we had, as you guys know, you don't necessarily pay your actors. Sometimes you have dropouts mid-shoot, and so we kind of had to repackage some of the story.
Sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So we shot it over the course of probably
I
about.
was actually worried about that because I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, sure.
We were doing it in 2 weekends. I thought if someone gets sick, this is all supposed to take place in one night. I'm like, so you're the part of Ted, you're the part of the major movie played by Ted. This scene, and then
It's
what do you do with that?
that's kind of what you end up having to do a lot of these
It
times.
happens in Hollywood though.
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
Yeah,
I mean,
with Scarlet K, we shot the majority of this movie 2.5 years ago. We shot the final shot 4 months ago. So yeah, we came back, and you have to get pickups and whatever it may be, just so we could piece the story together. And then we had the premiere, and it was, I assume you guys have had a premiere on a big screen.
Oh yeah, we have. Yeah,
And it's a surreal feeling. It's really exciting.
It is
so unbelievable
It
to see
is so bloody cool.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like I get some actors who don't want to. I'm a ham, you know that. Like,
Yeah.
hence why I host it. Yeah,
Sure.
you're a ham too, Bobby. You know you want to be, but I won't allow your face on screen. All right. But we've had quite a few screenings. The earlier films, not that guy. We haven't done much for the past recent ones. Really, it's. I got asked once years ago, how'd you have a screening at the Londonderry Movie Theater? We had it then. We ended up getting the big screen because luckily one of our guys they were having a slow night that night, so we had the smaller screen, which is still big.
Yeah,
and he said, "Hey, we have the bigger one if you want." I said, "Okay, cool." Someone said, "How'd you do that?" I said, "This is a magic trick. What? You write him a big fat check, and then they will let you do whatever the hell you want, you know." And that's but that's so cool when you see that.
It was, and of course, it's a dark comedy, so when your heart's racing, and the moment it starts and nobody's laughing, you want to cry because and then finally when you get the first couple laughs, and then the responses afterwards have been really positive. And we just shipped out last week. We shipped out to our first 2 festivals because we're going to attempt a festival around here. So we did the North Hollywood Film Festival. The Garden State Film Festival. We're trying to figure out which one we're going to hopefully premiere at. We've got another 10 festivals that we're going to be shipping out to. And while that's going on and we're having our encore is when I've been editing Ice Patrol, which is the next feature, which we decided to just completely 180. And it's a slow, quiet, very lonely story about a family that's struggling to keep their house in order since their father passed.
Right.
And this woman on the run kind of comes out of nowhere with a bag of money that she's mysteriously come along. So that one's a lot more paced.
Drama ensues.
Yeah, exactly.
Bobby, can we look up the trailers for these?
I have no trailers.
You have no trailers?
Have no trailers.
You have nothing.
So for Scarlet K, we decided never to do a trailer.
I have the event. I just need when is it? Details.
I'm sorry, what?
Details on.
Is it a private event or is it the encore event?
Oh, it's an encore event. The thing is that if anybody that is watching this wants to come to it, they just have to send me a message. Go like our page, our Facebook page, which is But It Did Happen Productions. I also have ButItDidHappenProductions.com is the website I have. Our movies are on IMDb, so go ahead and take a look at those too. If anybody wants to, we have limited seating at the theater, but at the same time, we do have some open slots right now that we're still trying to fill. We do want to fill it as much as we possibly can.
Now, so what's the big? Years ago when we were talking, we had all these ideas of what we were doing. Me and you constantly. You're one of the few directors I got along with because we both just accepted that we didn't agree on pretty much everything. You know, and that was
I'm losing my mind over there when you're talking about The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
I have no doubt you do. I have no doubt you do. You know, but that was what made it interesting. Sure. I felt like we just were it could have changed. It's been a long time, but it's
I like to think that over the course, and I hope you're the same way too, is that you've just opened up.
I like a lot more slow movies now than I did before.
I try to like, a lot of people used to say that I didn't like action movies, and back then maybe I was a little bit snobby, but I like to think that I'm willing to watch just about everything. I think everybody has a couple genres that they don't have a lot of interest in
Only
watching.
one I don't watch, and this has stayed steady, is I don't like sexploitation films. Stuff I can't stand that. I'm very very uncomfortable with stuff like that. But I still can't stand slasher films. I like horror.
Yeah,
I like a good psychological horror. It's just gore for the sake of gore. I still can't stand
I completely agree with you on
Yeah.
that one. But when it comes to horror, I've definitely changed on that
Me
too.
too. Yeah, it's like spicy food. It's like you get like it more when you
Right,
get old.
absolutely. I like the
you know?
idea of being scared without a doubt.
Yeah, and so that is.
I finally reached a point where I don't leave the theater halfway through.
Really? I'm one of those people that doesn't really. I don't get very scared in the theater. I'm someone that I go, oh, that wasn't that terrifying, and then I guess the drive home. Yeah, when you're looking in the rearview mirror because you swear something's falling.
Dark rainy nights, I'll still swear there's a T-Rex behind me.
I've definitely leaned away from. I still appreciate a good B action film, but I've definitely leaned a lot more away from. I love action movies,
Sure.
but especially now at this point in time. I mean, I've coordinated hundreds of fight scenes at this point in time, and now in other people's films too. And so I see the art of the actual storytelling within the structure of an action scene now, and now I'm really beginning to see the uselessness of a lot of scenes. Not in the sake of the fact that they're bad scenes within themselves, but how do they actually play within the structure, of the story. So it's not that I've become a snob. I think I've just become more, and some films are played just for an excuse to have an action scene, and that's fine. But it's when you try to have a film that's trying to be serious and then plays out a scene that's just there.
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time, I do also think that you should watch everything, And so when I see a movie that I didn't happen to like this year or whatever it may be, I still think, well, I learned something from that. Sometimes it's how not to jam an action scene into a movie, or how not to film action, or not to do something else. So that's what I try to take out of a situation like that.
And maybe I've become more of a sap, but I love Christopher Robin. I went to see that movie. I thought, and I'm wondering, am I just getting just older? And I like. Stop looking at me, Bobby. All right, Christopher Robin was a great touching movie.
You've always been this way, though. I mean, you saw it like a child when that little girl ran up to Mel Gibson in The Patriot.
Okay,
so.
you know what? First of all, I was in my 20s, so I wasn't that long ago. All right, that scene. If you don't choke up just a little bit at that scene, you haven't got a soul.
I'm assuming
I have seen The Patriot. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't choke up, but I'm also an emotionless being. I've cried for a grand total of 3 movies in all the movies watching. I cried at Jack when I was a child, the Robin Williams movie we was growing up. But recently, I cried at Fruitvale Station, which was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I saw it in the theater during that. Mm-hmm. And then very recently I saw Love, Simon, and I thought it was really lovely. So I did cry a little bit during that. But other than that, I will get choked up, but I don't.
Oh, I'm like that. I cried like a child at Saving Mr. Banks.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's like I don't know. I think I've just become a soft.
Well, that's a good thing, though, that you need that if you want to be a filmmaker, especially because I think that's what you're trying to. You're trying to manufacture, unfortunately.
That's true, right? It's like what actually gets you, Well, you don't do a lot of acting, though, do you?
I do 0 acting.
Okay,
That's the first I've ever been on camera.
Okay, yeah. So I think that maybe that's because I've always tried to find out how do you channel and feel that emotion.
I'm floored by it. I can't believe that you guys do it because I'm sitting in the back going I'm so afraid of making a fool of myself all the time.
It's because we want people to see us, and that's right. that's really it.
I feel like a lot of times that's what the movie is. I always hate when people ask me, "Oh, what's the theme?" I never have an answer because if I just had an answer for the line of the theme, I'd say it, and I wouldn't make a movie.
I'm actually more nervous when someone reads what I wrote rather than when I act the scene.
Really?
Same here.
That's really interesting.
Because to me, it's like if they didn't like it, someone else wrote this line. It wasn't me.
Well, no, I had a meeting with my agent because I actually have an agent, and I had a meeting with her, and she said, "What is it about acting?" And we talked about a few things. I said, "Well, it's a thing I know I can do to a degree. I kind of know where my strengths lie." And she said, "Okay, well, your reel's kind of more about serious stuff." I said, "Well, I don't have a funny face. I'm not really I'm not really a guy you put on the face of." And it's just based off of facts. You look at there's funny people and there's not funny people, and even if I can make a joke, even if I understand the comedy, I don't look funny. It's like I look like I look.
It's
you know?
it's amazing how different a camera takes certain people's
Right.
faces. Some people look really, really great. My family's motto has always been, "We look better in person."
Yeah.
Just because we don't take good pictures and we're not on camera great. There are some people that you look at in real life and they're lovely people, but when you see them on screen, for some reason,
Yeah,
there's something
facial
about it. Yeah, it pops though. Yeah, absolutely.
And but I was saying to her, like her, like I don't take acting personally. Even though I love doing it, I don't take it personally. I'm writing too.
Sure.
Like if you say something bad about my script, I'm like crying in the corner. I'm
Oh,
terrible.
yeah.
I'm the complete
terrible.
opposite.
Right.
No, see, like, when it comes to scripts, I have a certain group of people that I kind of go to when I'm starting the writing process. Which I don't know how you guys do it. For my process, it typically takes about 6 months to get what I called like the 10th draft done, but it's really the first rough
Well,
draft.
Chance was the third of the Bullies film, so that kind
Okay.
of took almost a decade to get that.
Right,
And
that's
it
fair.
was probably about a solid year and a half of actually really sitting down. But like I think about it, I call up everybody,
Yeah,
and then I just boom, it explodes.
but I
out.
prefer
Right.
when people are critical of the stuff. So when I send the
I
script,
prefer. I like it when they're critical of the script. When they're critical of what I've already filmed and it's too late.
Oh, no,
to fix
that's-
it,
yeah,
it's
that's
like,
brutal.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
nothing.
Oh, yeah, jeez, we're running out of time. All right, we gotta have you back on the show because it's been way too
Right.
long, my friend. But we gotta get moving on to our trailer
Okay, so
track.
Scarlet K, the
Scarlet
show
K.
on
Scarlet K.
the 27th.
on the
right?
December 27th, absolutely. Yeah. If anybody has any interest, please just message
We're
me.
gonna drop the links in.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook,
Right, yep.
whatever it may be.
So check it out.
Ice Patrol, which is the next movie, will be coming out. That'll be coming out hopefully in late February.
Mhm.
That sounds fantastic.
Thank you very much. And then really quickly, I got to plug Nomad, which is a short that we filmed. I spent $8,000 on it just myself for a 15-minute movie. It is. It's a really tense, dark, disturbing, gross little short. But it
I'm
looks
sure
really,
check it
really
out.
good. Yeah, absolutely. It's,
I do want to check it out.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But also know that should be coming out within the next 6 months or so. We've already had one color pass of it. I have to do another edit, but unfortunately these other projects have been
Yeah,
so.
you gotta pick your poison sometime. But Adam, we're definitely gonna have you back on the show.
Okay, great.
It's
Thanks
awesome.
so
We're gonna
much.
switch out with
Thanks.
Mitch.
Yeah,
We're gonna do
thank
a
you.
magical switch. No one's gonna see Mitch Ford. Arnie, slide on down. Mitch Ford here is coming back into the fold. That was Adam Newman of let's see, what's the name of his company again? But it did happen Productions. I'm trying to, I saw that the other day. So it's really great. I'll drop more links in it. But right now we're moving on to the close to the end of the show.
Allow me.
This is what happens. We had this the other week when we had the other filmmaker on. All of a sudden, you put two like geeky filmmakers on, and it's like I'm pretty sure the audience just like, what the hell are these two talking about? So Scott Ruffner is in the Facebook Live room. Hello, Scott Ruffner. Chris Howlett is also in the Facebook Live room. Jay, don't know how to pronounce your last name. Welcome to the Facebook Live room. Steve Lomer, unfortunately, I know how to pronounce your last name. Okay, but we're gonna move.
Steve Lomer's awesome.
Steve Lomer is awesome. We're going to move on to our favorite section of the show, Trailer Trash. We're going to drop the links of the trailers into the Facebook room, but because we don't have a TriCaster right now, we can't play them for you. But we're going to watch them and view them here, and then we're going to talk about it. And the first one we have coming up is, not this is an ad, is a movie, a TV show with Chris Pine, which I'm very excited about. I Am the Night. So, alright, let's play this. You got details for this movie?
I do, actually. So,
So-
I Am the Night is a new limited TV show on TNT, starring, of course, Chris Pine and, India Isley. I believe I'm saying that right. And it's directed by Patty Jenkins, who also did Wonder Woman.
Which I didn't see, but I've seen scenes of it, and as superhero movies go, it looked actually
Yeah.
really good.
It's actually a really good movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people that liked it, so
Yeah, haven't seen yourself though?
no.
Alright.
It's really good.
It's gonna be a quick, because our guest is smirking. Did you see?
I haven't seen one.
Oh, okay, alright, so,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, it's a really good movie that is really used World War I well. It's very rare.
It's like the Forgotten War.
Yeah, it's very rare that they do a good job with World War I, and they just did a wicked good job.
Alright,
with
so
it.
let's.
Okay, anyway, back to what's it called? I Am the Night. It's about a young woman named Fauna who was given away by her teenage birth mother, and she begins to investigate the secrets of her past, following a sinister trail that swirls ever closer to an infamous Hollywood gynecologist connected to the legendary Black Dahlia murder.
I didn't know the gynecologist line. All of a sudden, everything sort of makes sense about this now. I didn't see gynecologist anywhere in this trailer, and if I had read that, I would. Yeah, it's like, oh,
a little less
okay.
confused.
You know? Like every guy in the room just went, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
The villain in that looks like Feeny from that old TV show, I think, Boy Meets World. Does it? Looks
I mean, it's based on true events, I guess, but.
Would you get Bubble? I mean,
The Black Dahlia is like the famous murder mystery that people don't know actually
Yeah,
happened.
it's an unsolved crime.
So we know that whatever this answer is probably not it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It looks really, really good.
It looks really creepy. Now, usually we don't do TV shows, but there was an exception to this,
Yes.
which was, I mean,
He does
Well,
look
pine
like
nuts.
huh?
He does look like Feeny.
He does look like Feeny, doesn't he? Yeah. All right. But the exception for once again, why do we have this show?
Because you and I are pine nuts. So.
Yes, because I hate to admit it, I am a huge fan of Chris Pine. Like, you know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
all right. Wow, me and Adam agree on something.
Oh,
That,
big fan.
yeah, that's, wow.
Love her.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you know, so there we go. That's a very odd thing. Times have changed. It took us 12 years to finally agree on something. So,
Chris Pine brought you together.
yeah. Now it sounds creepy. All right. So, yeah, this looks really good. It looks really creepy. I'm not quite sure. Just jumping ahead right now. I am not quite. I'm not quite sure really how it's going to resolve, but it looks like it'd be one of those very uncomfortable TV series to watch. So
It's just gorgeously shot.
it is, but it looks like one of those. Oh my god, I gotta watch it. It's sort of like the first season of True Detectives was.
Okay.
For those of you who are fans of True Detective, the first season was. You saw that show?
No.
First season of True Detective was incredible. Second season could have been good, but turned out to be trash. And so that's
There's actually a very good reason for that.
that turned out to be trash.
Yes, the writer came out. He said he spent I think 10 years writing the scripts for the first season,
Mm-hmm.
and then it came out with a huge hit. And the TV executive said we need a new script like in 6 weeks. So basically, what they got was the first draft,
Right.
which I felt bad about, but it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that makes sense. I think they're going to do another season.
Yeah.
So,
just gonna beat a new storyline into submission at that point.
yeah. Mitch, what are your thoughts on this?
So when I first watched the trailer, I missed the first 2 pieces of dialogue, which is when I found out I was adopted, and I wanted to find out who I was, basically.
Right.
And I'm like, so watching the trailer, I'm like, what the hell is this movie about? There's all this stuff going
That's
on.
sort of a
people
key
blowing
element
up,
about it, yeah.
You know, I'm like, all right. So it seemed a lot confusing for me, so I kind of got off on the wrong foot in general. But you guys are saying it sounds really kind of scary, intense, and like.
Yeah, it looks really gritty. It looks like it could be something like just goes down a dark hole, which I kind of like. Yeah.
Starting off by somebody saying that, you know, they want to find out where they came from, which you would think might be kind of a heartfelt, happy, you know, kind of journey to go on.
Have you seen the trailer? It doesn't look like it.
It's completely off.
I got
off
the impression
base,
that if
so.
she found out the truth, someone would kill her. Like that's what I saw in
Yeah,
that.
and I
Yeah.
think that's what's going on exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uncovering things that they didn't want to be uncovered.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I know you want to see it. So we just move on. Bobby, your thoughts? And
Yeah, but it's based on
Chris
true
Pine
events.
fan.
Huh?
I like Chris Pine. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
yeah, Mitch just said it's based on true events. You like true event stuff.
Oh wait, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Like
That's
this.
why this guy in college said
Yeah.
100% true.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
Oh man. Oh man.
We're gonna jump ahead to the rating on this just so we can move on. Mitch, ratings.
I'm still not sure exactly what to make of this whole thing. honestly,
Okay,
but,
all right.
so I'm gonna go like this.
2 in the middle. All right.
Yeah.
Bobby, 2 thumbs up. Gynecologist based on true story. There we go. All right. All right, Arnie.
Well, what do you think mine's gonna be?
Well, okay, it's 2 thumbs up for Chris Pine.
Well, yeah.
All right. It says if you don't have a higher rating than 2 thumbs up, I guess it's really just 2 thumbs up with the possibility of more.
If I had more, yeah.
Yes, if we had more. Okay, and then without Chris Pine, this would look really good.
Yes. It's hard to imagine without Chris Pine, but yes.
Chris Pine, though, to me, is like, he's like filling that void of almost that sort of like kind of dirty action hero in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like the introduction to him just being like either obviously hungover or half high, falling asleep against the side of the bed is like, yes, you pull off that 1930s detective, or like a reporter character, that like he's filled that gap we haven't really had in Hollywood of a guy who kind of looks like this sort of guy who you could just see as much drunk as you can see.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right, yeah, and so that's two thumbs up for the film with the show alone, but with him in it, because I really like this one, definitely 2 thumbs up. So definitely.
Okay.
All
right.
Let's move on.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. I think this thing started playing. It's like I don't know where the trailer is. Artemis Fowl. Okay, Arnie.
Okay, so Artemis Fowl is expected to come out August 9th, 2019. It stars, I'm trying to find the young boy.
Some
Bernie
boy
Shaw.
you don't actually
Yeah,
know
we don't
about?
know.
Right.
But it does have Judi Dench and Josh Gad
Mm-hmm.
playing a character called Much Diggums, which makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's the long and the short of it is it's about a young criminal mastermind named Artemis Fowl who kidnaps a fairy leprechaun officer Holly Short for ransom to fund his search for his missing father in order to restore the family fortune.
That was not what I was getting from this trailer. This looked like some sort of like kids' fantasy adventure film.
Well, it is, yes.
Yes, but not like this little kid's the villain in the story.
Yes.
All right, that was that's
Ingenious villain. at that.
Ingenious villain, not just like an ordinary villain. He's like a stroking cat type of villain, I mean, like, you're a real villain when you're stroking a cat, all right?
So obviously this is based on a series of books written by an Irish writer named, I'm going to pronounce the name wrong, I'm sure, but Ian Colfer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's directed by Kenneth Branagh, which to me it's just like, okay,
Oh,
Kenneth
okay.
He's like the
Branagh's
third
involved.
director, by the way. that they
Is he
signed on
really?
this project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about this project. I didn't even know this was coming out until I saw the trailer.
It started back in like 2010. They had originally signed up with somebody else, and then eventually it got moved to a different producer, and then that producer dropped, and then Disney picked it up, and then
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so-
So,
been working on it since 2013, I think.
well, I
Before
was
this
wondering
character
why
probably
it's coming
born.
out now because the book series has been out for so long.
Dan DeVinio was in the Facebook Live, huh?
Okay.
Dan DeVinio, whoa!
And he is in the new Never See Films movie that's on Amazon Prime.
Yes,
which is
Michael Lawrence
Lawrence,
is on Amazon Prime. Just got
You know,
released.
plug.
Plug. Shameless plug. All right. So he says late but here. Yeah, ain't that the story of your life, Dan? No.
You and me, brother. You and me.
Yeah. Yeah, but Dan's gonna be on our show on the 19th, actually. A Christmas special, which is gonna be on the
Oh,
19th.
so it's going to be Dan and Bob.
Yeah,
Mitch,
Dan's gonna be doing some
me,
music.
you.
Yeah. Dan's coming in. He's got some original Christmas songs to be playing. We'll have,
Awesome.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, we have a special Christmas special on 19th. So it's gonna be our last show of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be here.
We're gonna, we're gonna be here. Yep. Sorry. Let's just go through the end of the show really quick, and then we'll plug this, do the shameless plugging with the rest of our show. So.
All right, so Artemis Fowl. What are thoughts when you saw the trailer?
Well, okay, I like him in the last one. I was like, yeah, I'm all for this until you tell me the plot. I'm like, okay, now everything's visually looks great. The trailer looked awesome. With this plot, I'm like, wait a minute. It's like, full stop. I don't really know what I'm getting in for then.
Mm-hmm.
Because little evil mastermind,
Well, yeah, he's a criminal mastermind, but like this thing is like he's trying to find his missing dad. So
Yeah, I get that. All right, and people who rob things are trying to feed their family. I get it. Doesn't mean a robbery. Doesn't mean stealing is okay. All right. So so I'm gonna go middle.
okay.
I'm gonna go middle with this. But I guess I'll see what later trailer comes in. I'm still a little hurt. The trailer felt like the trailer misled me.
Really, Kenneth?
Yeah.
Really?
Mitch,
Blue scale with time.
Mitch, your thoughts?
It looked like a kind of a futuristic platform, or they're integrating some kind of current time with future and.
And now there's leprechauns.
Just new technology, new societal and economic elements.
Move along. We only got 5 minutes left.
I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up because I think it's new and fresh and.
Okay. Yeah. And I
Looking
guess.
forward to it.
Yeah. All right. Makes sense. All right.
I'm kind of in the middle on this because I never really was attracted to the storyline, but the movie does look really good and Kenneth Branagh's behind it, so I'm going to give it a thumb and a half.
Okay. All right. Bobby.
This kid looks 5 years old.
He does.
I mean, it looks pretty intense for a 5-year-old.
He does.
But
Yeah.
the story, I know the storyline and everything like that. I think it's probably thumb up, thumb middle.
Thumb and a half? Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, I just because I wasn't expecting that, so it's like everything's taken aback. No, seriously, it's like,
That
oh,
and the gynecologist really
the gynecologist thing. Now the gynecologist made sense. Now it's like, oh, now I get why this thing has an overtly creepy feel to it. You know. So yes, Feeny, you fiend, you. So okay, but we're gonna move on, and our show is just about to wrap up. I want to thank Exeter TV Bob Glowacki for fixing up these things at the last minute. We are getting our show put together. We have a very active Facebook Live room, and that's awesome. I'm very glad about this. Our Christmas special is going to be on the 19th. We're going to be here. We're going to have Bob Turmanjoe at the end of the video. Bob didn't realize he's coming to the Christmas special, but we're going to do another episode. And we realized that's our last episode of the year. And we're in a full year doing this show. We went a full year doing this show, so you can tell for those of us who, we were talking about, Adam was talking earlier about the first 7 years. If you watched the first few episodes of this show, you watched the first 30 episodes of the show, it was like really wasn't, we've come a
It was
long way.
remarkable. Everyone should, no, everyone should watch.
Yeah, but hey, 2019 is coming along, and our teaming up with Exeter is going to be a really great opportunity. We got some more
Next week
exciting.
we got Marcos Lee coming in.
Marcos Lee,
Yep.
Marcos Lee is coming in as our guest, so tune in for that. And we will have a special trailer for one of our upcoming films, and another exciting announcement next week. So, like the Early Late Night Live Show Facebook page, and keep following us because we got some more exciting things coming down. And if you want to be a guest, we're going to drop the Arnie's email address in the Facebook Live room. It's killarneyt@gmail.com. KILLARNEYT@gmail.com. I'm spelling it out so Bobby knows how to write it into the
I
Facebook.
knew it.
All right, fine. But I want to thank Mitch Fortier for is coming in.
Pleasure. Yeah, always a pleasure.
It's fun to have. I want to thank our guest, Adam Newman. Great seeing you again. And I want to thank you, our audience, for sticking around and putting up with us. And hopefully we'll be back next. No, hopefully we will be back next week.
We'll be back.
2 more shows this year, and then January we're back.
Yep.
We're back. So this is Terry Trainer with the Early Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night, 7 to 8. Check out our Facebook page and check us out on Channel 98. We will be rerunning the show every night on Channel 98 at 7 o'clock. So yeah, tune in if you missed it. Okay? If you missed it though, you wouldn't be watching it now. All right. Terry Trainer with the Archie Films Early Night Live Show. Catch you later.
Sad because I didn't even catch that.